Gladiator, a hero will rise. Introduction. All eyes turned to the trees. A horseman rode out toward the Roman army. There was something strange about the way he was riding. Maximus was the first to understand. As the horse came closer, the other men could see what had happened. The Roman messenger was tied to his horse. His head had been cut off. Maximus knew now what he had to do. Life was suddenly simple. General Maximus, commander of the Roman army of the north, fights his last battle in the war against Germania. Then he hopes to return to his farm and his family in Spain. But there are many serious problems in Rome, and Emperor Marcus Aurelius knows he will soon die. Maximus realizes that he must perform another duty for the emperor before he can go home. He knows it will not be easy, and he's right. Soon, he's fighting for his life again, first as a prisoner, then a slave, and finally as a gladiator. One thought keeps Maximus alive, that he will finally meet and kill the man he hates most, the new emperor, Commodus. The book Gladiator was written by Dewey Gram. The screenplay by David Franzoni, John Logan, and William Nicholson was made into a very successful movie. The movie stars Russell Crowe as Maximus and Joaquin Phoenix as Commodus. British actor Oliver Reed, Proximo, died before the movie was finished, although almost all his scenes had been completed. On film and on paper, Gladiator is a very exciting story. Chapter 1. Farmer and Soldier. At the height of its power, the great Roman Empire stretched from the deserts of Africa to the borders of northern England. Over 1/4 of the world's population lived and died under the rule of the Caesars. In the winter of AD 180, Emperor Marcus Aurelius' 12-year war against the people of Germania was coming to an end. There was one last battle to win. Then there would be peace across the Roman Empire. The man walked through the sun-warmed Spanish field, his hand touching the wheat. He looked past apple trees to a farmhouse. He heard a child laughing somewhere near. A bird flew on the branch of a tree close to him, and they looked at each other. The man smiled. Suddenly, the sound of shouts and horses frightened the bird, and it flew up into the air. The news broke through the man's daydream, and he came back to the real world with a crash. He wasn't dressed in farmer's clothes, as he had imagined, but in the proud armor of the Roman army. The field was burned and muddy from battle without a green leaf on it. Beyond the tree line ahead, somewhere in the forest, the German armies were preparing to attack again. The man knew that behind him an enormous army waited, the Roman army. 40,000 men, his army. Maximus the farmer was Maximus the commanding general of the army of the north for one last battle, and then he could go home to Spain. He turned his horse and rode back to his men. 30-year-old Maximus was a great general, a man they could trust. He moved among them, checking that they were ready for battle. He looked back frequently to the line of trees. Some of his officers were warming themselves around a fire, and Maximus joined them. "Still nothing?" he asked Quintus, his second in command. Quintus shook his head. "He's been gone for almost 2 hours," he said. Why are they talking so long? They only have to say yes or no. A young officer gave Maximus a bowl of hot soup. He drank it slowly as they talked, always keeping one eye on the line of trees. Snow in the air, said Maximus. I can't smell it. Anything's better than this German rain, Quintus said, looking out at the mud in front of his men. Suddenly there was a shot. He's coming. All eyes turned to the trees. A horseman rode out toward the Roman army. There was something strange about the way he was riding. Maximus was the first to understand. They say no, he said. As the horse came closer, the other man could see what had happened. The Roman messenger was tied to his horse. His head had been cut off. Maximus knew now what he had to do. Life was suddenly simple. Far away at the edge of trees, a German chief appeared. In one hand he was holding the head of the messenger. He screamed his anger at the Roman army, then threw the head toward them. Maximus' men stared back and waited for their general's order to attack. Several carriages traveled along the road toward the battle area protected by Roman soldiers.